How well do you know your customer? Oh no, is he on about that again? Yes, I am. In my perpetual sales cycle, step 2, the second P is potential. This is where we figure out who are our perfect customers. There may not be one exact type, there may be 2, there may be 3. I suggest that you start with 1, work on that, then possibly get a second one, then possibly get a third. Don't go beyond that. Let's concentrate on those. You might say, oh, we got loads of different types. Don't worry about it. That's fine. Just concentrate on the best ones. But not all customers or not all people are the same. And the reason this is good to know is because it not only tells you what type of voice, what type of approach to use for your customer when you're writing to them, when you're talking to them, it also tells you where to find them, what they might like. So for example, I'll give you an example of a flower shop, a florist, a flower store. You probably think, so who's your customers? You think, well, they're men buying presents for their wives, for Valentine's Day, for their partners, for their girlfriends. In fact, all you wives will probably think, my husband doesn't buy me flowers, not since we got married. So let's say men buying flowers for girlfriends they want to impress. So, or only for wives when they're feeling guilty on the way home from work. But it's not as simple as that. Of course, women buy flowers as well. Not only do women buy flowers for themselves, they buy them for gifts, and women might buy flowers for other women. You need to know that. Only you can know. So if you are a Windows installer, you perhaps want to advertise. Where do you advertise? Do you just automatically put it in a local paper? How about if you advertise into a certain demographic? If you know your buyers are perhaps the woman in the house rather than the man, for whatever reason, say for example, perhaps then you can figure out where in your local town do women hang out. Is there a She's Fit? Is there, for instance, of a female-only fitness gym? Can you go and put up an advert in there? Can you sponsor something there? That type of thing. Good to know. Of course, that helps with knowing the age range, and all these kind of things. What else? Office stationery buyer. Is that the boss of the company? Or is it the buyer? Or is it an assistant? Or can anyone buy their own? Who is your customer? Do you know? Just think of as many examples you can think of. Fire safety. And for example, we sell fire safety. You'd think the vast majority of our customers, so we're saying fire safety via an e-commerce site, things like fire safety signs, fire extinguishers, intumescent products, fire stopping seals, all that kind of stuff. But we have customers in blocks, say for intumescent products, who would be in the building trade. In other areas, if they're building them, buying them for their office, they may be the owner of a very small business, but they may be the building manager of a much larger business who's not the owner, who's just middle management or senior management. They may be the buying department of a larger business. We need to know that. So let me give you a weekend challenge and let's figure this out together. These are the 6 important things you need to know. So this is not as hard as you think. Honestly, trust me, I'm not a doctor. Pen, pad, I assume you've already got them. Ready? Weekend challenge. Number 1, is your customer male or female? If your customer is 60% male, 40% female, I mean not at the same time, then we're going to say that's predominantly male, okay? Yeah, don't say, well, a bit of both. Yeah, I know, you do have a bit of both. We're looking for the main things. Number 2, what is his or her age range? Now, if you're looking for age range, look for demographics, general age range demographics that people use. Google age range demographics, or age range questionnaires, and you'll see, look at images, Google Images, you'll see a bunch of examples, and people say up to 18, 18 to 24, 24 to 34, 35 to 45, and over 55, 65 plus, all that kind of stuff. Figure out that perfect age range. Now, I'll add a little proviso there with age. Age isn't always as important. It's important if they're in the sort of around the year 20, or they're around 60s and above. But in between, not so much so. But you can figure out if they're in their early 40s, then the age of their children is going to be very different to somebody in their late 20s, probably. So you can have a slightly wider. You can figure out that your age range is from 25 to 40, for instance. It doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to know the exact year. So that was number 2. Number 3, what is their title or job position? Now, of course, they may not have a job. If you're saying they may be the domestic engineer, housewife, house husband, whatever you want to say. They may be unemployed, self-employed. It doesn't matter, I don't care, but that is their title. Put it down, whatever it is. You want to drill down to find these out. Number 4, now we get serious. What are their pain points? What are the problems? So for instance, that man buying flowers on his way home. So the pain points, he's upset his wife, he's on his way home, he needs something in a hurry, but he doesn't have time to get a proper gift. That's a pain point. So time, speed, convenience, cheap. Yeah, we've all been there. Number 5, where do they look for inspiration? And I mean inspiration in their lives. Now, something we need to get straight is, so for instance, say your demographic is the office manager, and you're looking at a type of business. The person who buys is a person. They are a human, an individual. So we're looking at the individual. We know their job, we know what they do, but it's the person that buys. Where do they look for inspiration? Do they Google? Do they use Facebook? Is it clothing based? Or are they more of a female demographic? Are they on Pinterest or Instagram? Would they ask their friends? Would they WhatsApp or Snapchat a friend? Where do they go for inspiration? Do they go to the library? Do they look stuff up? Do they watch TV? Do they sit alone at night watching late night infomercials? Where are they getting it? So all these things are very important. Now, finally, yes, number 6. What are their objections? Now, what we mean by that is, so what's their problem? So their objections may be high price, takes too long, it's a hassle, I don't like paying delivery charges, it's too far away, I want to see it, I want to try it before I buy it. These type of objections, so you can figure that out. So for instance, if you're a window installer, people want to know the quality of what they're getting. So you can't just send them a brochure, they're spending a lot of money. Someone's got to go to their house and show them what that looks like. For example, this is the kind of conclusion you would come to. With the florist, you'd have some simple, convenient, pre-packed ones available from 4:30 till 6:30 for guys to buy on their way home. For example, I obviously have no knowledge of the trade whatsoever, but I'm guessing. So if you can nail down those 6, you can do it over the weekend, it's good, then you are most of the way there to knowing who your customer is and aiming your products, your marketing, and everything else towards them. So if you have a female demographic, would you add a bit of pink in some of the colour schemes, a bit more pastel colours? Perhaps, unless it's like more of a 60-40 split, then you're going to really put off all the males. if it's 90-10, yeah, there are some things. So think it through. It's worthwhile. Now, these weekend challenges I've been doing for ages. We're on episode 225, and there's one every single Friday. So if you go to the marketingforowners.com website /challenge, you will find every single one is listed there. Every one I've ever done. The ones at the beginning were a bit short and quick and lame. Oh, no, they're still good, but they were the short and quick ones because I was in a hurry. But as you get down further, the meaty ones, there are some very, very popular ones that people have much preferred to others that are very helpful that I've had emails from. Try those. Also, if you like this podcast and want to tell your friends, please do, but go to iTunes and tell us what you think. But before you do that, go to, again, marketingforowners.com /free book. We've got a surprise for you. It also shows you how you can subscribe, how you can give a rating, and how it all works, and the gift we give you for free anywhere in the world if you do. It'd be very much appreciated. Have a fabulous weekend.